Let's talk about Texas, a place where the land stretches as far as the eye can see, and the spirit of independence runs deep in the soil. This is the state that once stood alone as its own country, a bold experiment in self-governance that set Texas apart from the very beginning. From 1836 to 1845, Texas was the Republic of Texas, with its own flag, its own presidents, and a fierce sense of independence that shaped its destiny. During those years, Texans made their own laws, minted their own money, and charted their own course. This isn't just trivia, it's a core part of Texan identity, something that's celebrated in festivals, classrooms, and family stories passed down through generations. The Lone Star flag is more than just a symbol, it's a badge of honor, representing the independent spirit that fuels the idea that Texas could, one day, go solo again. Stories of the Alamo and legendary figures like Sam Houston shape a narrative of toughness, resilience, and self-reliance that's become almost mythic in Texas culture. That history still echoes in modern politics, with talk of Texit, the idea of Texas leaving the United States, surfacing whenever there's tension with Washington or debates about state rights. This isn't just fringe talk. There are real movements, organizations, and even lawmakers who take the idea seriously and push for it in the halls of power. For many Texans, the dream of independence is woven into the state's cultural DNA, showing up in everything from school lessons to family traditions and local celebrations. The Lone Star isn't just a design, it's a living reminder of a time when Texas was a nation, and a symbol of the pride that still burns bright today. And for some, it's more than just history. It's a blueprint for the future, a vision of what Texas could become once again. So, why do some Texans want out? Many feel the federal government is too big and intrusive, believing Texas could govern itself better. Texas's massive economy fuels the argument. Why send money to D.C. when we could keep it here? There's also a strong sense of cultural uniqueness. Texans see themselves as different, with values rooted in independence and self-reliance. Some worry national trends threaten those traditions. Ultimately, it's about self-governance. The dream of making their own laws, controlling borders, and building a country that's unapologetically Texan. For supporters, it's less about leaving America and more about creating something new. Wanting independence is one thing, an idea that stirs up pride, hope, and a sense of possibility for many Texans. But actually, pulling it off is another story entirely, filled with challenges that go far beyond waving a flag or making a declaration. Texas's economy is massive, one of the largest in the world, but it's deeply tied to the U.S. market. Secession would mean new tariffs, the need for a brand new currency, and a period of economic instability that could shake businesses and families alike. Federal jobs and services, like military bases, NASA, and Social Security, would vanish overnight, forcing Texas to build entire systems from scratch, with no guarantee of a smooth transition. The new border with the U.S. would stretch over 1,200 miles, instantly turning every crossing into an international checkpoint, complete with customs, inspections, and new rules for everyone. Travel and trade would become complicated and expensive, with delays in paperwork affecting everything from groceries to family visits. Legally, Texas would need a new constitution, a new set of laws, and a new government. Residents might even have to choose between U.S. and Texan citizenship, a decision that could split families and communities. Federal protections and disaster relief would disappear, leaving Texans to face emergencies and natural disasters on their own, at least until new systems are built. The transition would be messy, expensive, and filled with uncertainty as people and businesses scramble to adapt to a new reality. Every aspect of daily life would be upended, from shopping for food to getting a driver's license or accessing health care. Independence would come with a steep price, one that every Texan would have to weigh carefully before making history. If Texas left, daily life would change fast, much faster than most people expect, and in ways that touch nearly every part of life. A new, unstable currency could make everything from groceries to gadgets more expensive, and prices might swing wildly as people and businesses try to adjust. Companies might leave, jobs could vanish, and new taxes would likely replace old ones. Uncertainty could make it harder for new businesses to open or for existing ones to stay afloat. Travel would require passports, even for road trips to neighboring states. Crossing the border could mean long waits, new paperwork, and extra costs. Federal services like mail, Social Security, and disaster aid would disappear, replaced by untested Texan systems that might take years to fully develop. Retirees could lose benefits, and families might be split by new citizenship rules. Some people could suddenly find themselves living in a different country than their relatives. Even internet access and shipping could get complicated, with new regulations and possible delays for everything from online orders to streaming services. The shared American identity would be gone, replaced by a new national story that everyone would have to learn to live with. For some, that's exciting, a chance to start fresh. For many, it's a loss that's hard to measure. The reality of independence would be far more disruptive than most imagine, touching every home, every business, and every community in Texas. The U.S. wouldn't accept Texas's exit quietly. There's no legal path for secession. A standoff over federal property and military bases would be likely. The U.S. would impose trade barriers, and most countries would hesitate to recognize Texas. Texas would struggle to join global organizations, facing isolation and uncertainty. The global energy market would be rattled, and international companies might pull out. The economic chaos and loss of allies would hit hard. In theory, Texas could build a government tailored to its ideals. But the challenges, economic, legal, and diplomatic, are enormous. Independence would be a massive gamble, with no guarantee of a happy ending.